Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today we've got lots to talk about. We've heard of some new Platinum member benefits as well as updates from cruise ships, and we are also going to go over what the COVID protocols right now are on Celebrity. And so first of all, I would like to welcome all of our Let's Go family members. Every single one of you is absolutely wonderful. And I'd also like to welcome everybody who is new. If there is anyone who hasn't subscribed yet, we would love it if you would subscribe, please. And I think that you are going to really enjoy being part of this community as well. So first of all, we've got an update from the Discovery Princess. You might recall that last week she sailed from berth 50 down there at San Pedro at the Port of Los Angeles. And it was kind of a hassle. Everyone would have to go check in and then take the shuttle bus down to berth 50 to be able to get on the ship. And from what I've heard, there were long lines. It didn't go super smoothly. And so the ship is going to dock at berth 93. And I would like to thank Fred and Ronald for letting me know that berth 93 is where she is going to be, at least for now. I don't know if it's going to be every sailing ending up there, but that's where they're going to be this time, and I'm sure that embarkation and disembarkation will go much more smoothly. And so that is really great news. So thank you for letting us know. The next thing that we need to talk about is we have a wonderful Let's Go family member who was just on the Enchanted Princess and was kind enough to send me the information about how everything went on their cruise, and it's really, I think, very valuable for all of us. So first of all, they went to St. Kitts, Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua, St. Thomas, and Grand Turk on their cruise, and it was from March 20th through the 30th. They said that the ship was 80% full, just under 3,000 passengers, and that the masks were, of course, recommended but not required, and they think maybe about 5% of passengers wore their masks. They were surprised that the masks were not required in the Princess Theater. And he said that they had amazing shows, that every night they had 2 shows, and that every single one of them was wonderful. He even said that the last night they performed a brand new show that they had only done in rehearsal up to that point, and he said it was just fantastic. And so I think that's really exciting. And then along with that, he said that when they were in the ports that they had to wear their mask, and that a lot of times if they went into a shop, if they missed getting hand sanitizer put in their hand just as they were going in the door, that the people in the shop would as you say, kind of chase them down and put some on their hands. And I know that when Gordon and I went in January, we went to Nassau in the Bahamas and the other ports, that everyone always, if you walked into a shop, they were squirting hand sanitizer on your hand. Same as if you went into somewhere to get something to eat, or if you hopped on the bus that you were taking for your excursion, they were putting hand sanitizer in your hand. And so just be aware that that's what's going to happen. And I really also appreciate that he also gave me 2 documents that they got on that cruise. And so first of all, one of them tells about the events for the Platinum members. And so they had 2 events. They had an elite lounge meeting, and the dress for that, just so you would know to take the appropriate clothing, was smart casual. And it says exclusive venue for elite and platinum circle member, captain circle member guests to meet your ship's officers and fellow guests with drink offers, delectable delights, and live entertainment. And so that was from 4:30 to 6:30. And then the captain's circle party, it says, we're humbled by your loyalty to Princess and look forward to celebrating with you. In order to help protect your environment, the invitations are no longer just bring yourself and your medallion. And so that was also on their cruise, and it was started at 5 p.m. in the Vista Lounge. They were both in the Vista Lounge, I should say that, on deck 7 of the Enchanted Princess. And then the thing that I think is so exciting, it says onboard platinum member benefits and discounts. So they listed everything. So we know about priority check-in at embarkation, the Platinum Disembarkation Lounge, the Platinum and Elite Lounge, the complimentary destination collection brochure via email. And so those are things that we've known about in the past. But it says new, you get 50% off your medallion net package, 10% off of Lotus Spa treatments, 10% off photos in the photo gallery, and early access to the Dine My Way reservation app. And so I am really excited about this. I think that it'll be fun. I would love it if any of you on other sailings have received any information like this. I think I can't imagine that it would just be on one ship. And so it'll be really fun to hear from you. And I look forward to telling you if they're on our cruise that we get to go on at the end of May. And so this is just wonderful. And you know what, along with this, it reminds me to tell you, the other evening, my app is still not working. It's still not working. I need to call Princess again when I've got time for that. But my app isn't working. But Gordon's is working. And the other evening, he was just going through and kind of seeing where we were with it. And he was able to select our embarkation time. And it was when we were about 59 days out is when he saw it. So I have a feeling that that became available at about 60 days out. But at 59 days out, he was able to select our embarkation time. So that's really fun. We got the first group. So that's fun. And so that kind of reminded me when it says that you get early access for the Dine My Way reservation. The other document that Joe was so kind to share with me is the document that we have seen before, but I think it's changed just a little bit. It's the one that tells you like all of the ports and which ports you can go on your own excursion, which ports you have to be on a Princess excursion, and where you can do the port authorized tours. And so let me tell you here really quick. In St. Kitts, you can do all three. You can do a Princess Shore excursion, the port authorized tour, as well as the independent exploration. And that is the only port that is on the list here that you can do any of the three. So in Bridgetown, Barbados, you have to do a Princess Shore excursion or a port authorized tour. The same with St. Lucia. You have to do the Princess excursion or a port authorized tour. And then in St. John's, Antigua, St. Thomas of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Grand Turk, and Port Everglades, Florida, you can either do a Princess excursion or your independent excursion. Now those port authorized tours, the way you get those is it says that you get off the ship and go into the port area, and that you can book a tour right there, that they have a whole bunch of the people who offer the port authorized tours just right there, so that you can pick up the kind of tour that you would like. And so I haven't experienced that myself, but I have had Let's Go family members just mention in the past in comments that they have done that and then it went really well. And so hopefully that'll be good. And in all of those places it says that you can get off and just be right in the port area. Even if you don't want to take any kind of organized excursion, you can just get off and walk around right in the port area. And some of those places you can't go beyond the port area, but at least you can get off and walk around and get a feel for the place. And so that's where we are with that. Now, I did hear an update from several people have told me from different Princess ships that everyone is getting served by the crew. And so I am really glad to hear that that is what is still happening. And hopefully on all of the ships we're getting served by the crew. I had one Let's Go family member comment that on Carnival everyone served themselves. And so I asked which ship they're on. But if anybody can comment on that. And I'm also really hopeful that we can find someone who has been on a transatlantic this year on a line other than Princess, because this internet information that we are getting, that there's not really internet on these transatlantics, is really, I think, a little bit concerning. And I have received 3 emails from people saying that they're going to cancel their cruise because of that. And one of the people commented that they're canceling the transatlantic and they're canceling the British Isle cruise that they were going to do immediately following that, because the internet's it's a deal breaker to not have internet for that long. And so in the comments today, I was hoping you all could tell me, is the internet a deal breaker for you too? If you had that booked and found out that you were not going to have reliable internet, would you consider canceling as well? I think it's just really interesting to talk about, and I think we'll have a good conversation there. So as far as the health protocols go on Celebrity, I told you all that I wanted to talk about other cruise lines a little bit more. So here we go. Someone did ask me if I would find out what the protocols are for sailings to Alaska this year. And those are not available yet. And if any of you have a Celebrity cruise to Alaska booked this year and you have received any information from Celebrity, I would really appreciate if you would share it with me. On their website, I searched the whole thing and I cannot find anything talking about sailings to Alaska or anything to do with Canada. And so let me tell you, though, their protocols are a little bit different than what Princess's are. So first of all, I love that they start off with the reminder that currently, as of right now, to come to the United States, you have to, regardless of vaccination status, you have to present your negative COVID test no more than 1 day before travel to the United States. And so make sure that you are all aware of that, whether you are someone from another country coming here to embark on a cruise, or if you live in the United States and you have gone somewhere else and you're coming back home again, make sure that you remember that you have got to get that test done. And I would definitely do it within 1 day of your flight. That, I think, is really key. And then it will be fine to get back here into the United States. And so that's what we've got. Also, effective April 15th of 2022, so that's just a little bit under 2 weeks, all crew, first of all, it says all crew and guests who are eligible to be vaccinated must be fully vaccinated with all initial doses administered at least 14 days prior to sailing. And then starting on April 15th, this will include all guests ages 5 years and older on sailings departing the U.S. So they are tightening that up to include children clear down to the age of 5. It says also for U.S. sailings through April 30th of 2022, all vaccinated guests are required to present a negative COVID test at the time of embarkation, and they need to be done within 2 days of embarkation, and it can be an antigen or a PCR. And so each guest is responsible for making their own arrangements and paying for that test, just like we are with Princess and on the other cruise lines. Now, unvaccinated children between the ages of 2 and 11 are required to do a PCR test within 2 days of embarkation, and then they are also going to be tested again at embarkation and again at disembarkation. Now, we will remember that those are the rules that were set forth by the CDC, and it sounds like the cruise lines are sticking with those, at least for now. That's what Celebrity has got. They also, back on March 18th, they started accepting, for anyone that had recently recovered from COVID, they were allowing them to present a certificate of recovery and proof of the positive PCR test that was taken between 11 and 90 days prior to the sail date. And so they don't have to show the negative COVID test then, because sometimes when you've had COVID, it takes a long time for it to not show a positive, even though you're over it. As far as masking goes, it says that face masks will be optional on board, although they are still recommended, except for if you are someone who is on the sailing and you are not vaccinated, then you do need to wear your mask in the indoor areas, except for when you're eating or drinking. As far as excursions and going ashore, if you're not vaccinated, especially with unvaccinated children, it says you can go ashore only on a Celebrity excursion. And so that's for unvaccinated guests. For vaccinated guests and everyone else, for the 4 following places, which are the same 4 that are listed in the Princess protocols, whether you're vaccinated or not, you can only go ashore using the Celebrity excursions: Bridgetown, Barbados, Castries, St. Lucia, Kingstown, St. Vincent, and Rousseau, Dominica. And it says in St. Lucia, Barbados, and Dominica, fully vaccinated guests may also choose to enter the enclosed port area to enjoy the shops. And in that area, they can go ahead, like I told you, and purchase those independent tours that are certified, the approved independent tours. And so I wanted to make sure that if you're going on one of these cruises, whether it's on Celebrity or on anybody else, be prepared for those locations that you're going to need to go on a ship excursion, and in a couple of them be able to get your own independent tour by a certified tour guide. And then finally, just so that you're prepared, if you're in Aruba and Grenada, the use of masks is required indoors except for when you're eating or drinking. It says the St. Martin government requires all unvaccinated guests ages 10 and older to be tested 2 days prior to arriving in St. Martin, and those tests will be provided on board. And then finally, the local health authorities in St. Thomas and St. Croix require that all guests, including vaccinated passengers, wear a mask in the seaports and airports and on all transportation. And then the last thing I want to make sure everyone knows is that it says that unvaccinated children are required to take a COVID test prior to re-entry into the United States, and that complimentary test will be available on board the ship, and they'll help you with that. And so that is everything that we know about the celebrity protocols. Like I said, they haven't released anything about Alaska yet, and I'll be anxious to hear from any of you who have heard anything just in an email because you have one of those cruises booked. I really appreciate you all being here with me. If you have any information that you would like me to try to gather for you or an update that you're looking for, just put it in the comments below and I'm happy to do my best getting that to you. If you appreciate these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up because that really does help us out. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.